Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records. And last night I went down to the Tool Hill Performing Arts Center on the campus of University of Missouri St. Louis and saw the great Herb Alpert and his Tijuana Brass. You know, a couple years ago I watched the fantastic documentary on Herb Alpert called Alpert Is. And it really opened my eyes to the genius of his music, to his philanthropy, to his artwork, both as a painter and a sculptor, to his entrepreneurship, to his business sense and savvy, an AOR man, a record company executive, really the Renaissance man that is Herb Alpert. The band last night, I didn't know that he was still actively touring, and I don't think he does a lot, but he announced a tour in the winter of this past winter of 25, and I got tickets with my buddy Chris, and we went down there and absolutely got our minds blown. The theater was sold out. The theater is beautiful. It's a great sounding venue. Herb Alpert sold more albums between 1965 and 66 than the Beatles. He founded A&M Records, Alpert and Moss Records, who had artists like Humble Pie and Peter Frampton and the Carpenters, Ozark Mountain Daredevils, all kinds of different types of music, because if Herb liked how it sounded, he'd sign you. And Moss, his partner as well, these are huge albums. He played most of this record last night. Taste of Honey, Tangerine, the beautiful and serene Tangerine, Bittersweet Samba, Love Potion Number 9, the classic Whipped Cream and Lollipops and Roses. This is just a classic album. If you don't own it, get it. South of the Border is another classic. He has all kinds of records in this era that are great. His beautiful wife, Lanny, came out and sang a couple songs as well and jammed. Herb is 90 years old as of this last March. His wife is 79, and they are so vibrant and great. And I'm not going to go through song by song on the set list because I want the people that already have tickets to be surprised. I did take some notes, which is how dorky is that to take notes at a concert, but I just wanted to be able to articulate a little bit better what I saw last night. Again, I'm a big jazz guy. I'm a St. Louis guy. I'm a huge Miles Davis. You can't see over here, but I have bins of all jazz fusion, bins of all Miles Davis on vinyl, bins of all jazz, and I've seen some of the greats of all time, Sonny Rollins and Wayne Shorter, and huge Chick Corea guy, and putting Herb in that category certainly is appropriate. His band came out and started playing into a song, and then comes dancing out the 90-year-old Herb Alpert. He takes the trumpet and starts blowing on The Lonely Bolt in the work song, and he then sits down in his chair, which is just behind him, but he's just leaning back in it, really. He's working his leg and kind of dancing, and he's also conducting the band with his hand here and starting and stopping and doing as much band leading as he can from a chair, but again, not just sitting there. He's loosely sitting. He's tapping his feet. He is vibrant. Then, of course, they go onto the title track of Whipped Cream. Okay? A song written by Alan Toussaint. A song that Al Hirt passed on. The legendary Al Hirt, who I saw back in 94 in Louisiana, in New Orleans. And just a quintessential 60s. I mean, while there's screens behind showing old vintage video of Al playing with his band, whether playing in a stadium, like in a Mexican south of the border type of football stadium or rodeo stadium, bull riding stadium, or him playing in California or running on the beach or dancing. Spanish Flea was next. And if you know that song, it's just quintessential, quintessential Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass. The gorgeous Lady Fingers was next with its vibes and just beautiful, beautiful just ambience. Getting back into my notes, he's the coolest guy in the room. Yet he's humble. Yet in between songs, he's like, does anybody have any thoughts or questions? And I think the crowd wasn't prepared for him to be serious about that. When I got my tickets back in, I think, February or March, I responded to something on Facebook, and the next day I have a friend request from a guy named Herb Alpert. And I accepted it, and he sent me an instant message. And I don't remember all the contents of it, but I remember getting it late at night because I'm in the central time zone and maybe he's out in California, I don't know. And just asked, thanks for coming to the show type of thing, because I guess I had responded in Facebook. And I was kind of starstruck and not knowing how to respond, and thanked him for his music. But what I realized last night is I think he really wants my opinion and wants to know what my thoughts and questions could be for him. And he asked those questions, and somebody yelled out, "How do you stay in such great shape?" And, he said, by staying creative, by working on my painting, by working on my sculpting, by playing my trumpet and practicing, by working with my foundations in the things that he loves. He said, there needs to be more consciousness about the creative artists and artists in the communities, and that schooling in the United States has robbed children of creativity. They've taken the arts out of schooling. And why would we do that when schooling is in jazz band and things like that were in schools in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, but were eliminated at some point, and it's not taken as seriously. He says our country was built on creativity, and he's right. His wife Lonnie then comes out. She's beautiful and looked great, and they embraced each other with a kiss, which was wonderful to see, and sang One Note Samba, and then did a cover of the Beatles' Fool on the Hill. And prior to that, he told the story about Burt Bacharach and how Burt gave him a song, "This Guy's in Love with You," and Herb took lead vocals, and the song became a huge hit. And now he's a recording vocalist as well as a great trumpet player and band leader. And he is a great trumpet player. And in talking about his band last night, he had a young man on trumpet that played sometimes in unison with Herb. Sometimes he didn't play at all, and Herb did all the trumpet. He had a wonderful trombone player last night, a vibraphone player who also played keys, and a fabulous drummer, and a guitar player who played both electric and acoustically, and his bass player was just tremendous. He then plays his 1979 song "Rise," which is one of the last instrumental songs to be on the pop charts. Instrumental music, prior to that, periodically there'd be big hits. Think of the Chuck Mangione hit that he had like in 75, and Green Onions and things like this. What an amazing version. I took 50 seconds of video that I'm not going to share because I don't think that's right to share video of an art event that I went to, because you need to be surprised on your own and you need to see it. And last night was a perfect example. Go see the artists. Go see these artists while they're still performing at a high level, so that you not only get to hear the music, but you get a little bit of an insight of their humanity. And, just some really, there was, again, pictures and video screens behind the stage of Herb with Charlie Chaplin because the studios that Moss and Alpert purchased was a former studio where Charlie Chaplin did some of his movies and so forth. They did the song Smile, which is a Charlie Chaplin song, tribute to Karen Carpenter and Jerry Moss. You know, and going back to Rise again, what a cool, hip, disco era instrumental jazz song that crosses over into pop, shows you the versatile side. Towards the encore, we got Tijuana Taxi, which is one of just his great classics. And he did close with Sunny Side of the Street. Last night was special. Last night was a reinforcement of why we go to rock concerts and pop concerts and jazz concerts. Again, with his every few songs, hey, any thoughts, any questions? He's dead serious. People did ask questions. I should have asked you, what did you think of the Grateful Dead? Were you a Jerry Garcia fan? Did you ever meet Jerry Garcia? Maybe Herb, if you're watching this, you can answer that question, because I felt after I left, I was afforded the opportunity to ask a question to a legend, and more than anything else, just celebration of music, celebration of his wonderful band that he knows he has, and you could tell he has pride in that band, and his beautiful wife Lainey and her wonderful music in Brazil 66 and things that she did and accomplished in her career. Anyway, we only talk about great music here on Intersection Records. Thanks for watching my show. Check out Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass at a place near you. They're doing many more shows, and even into 26. Peace out. See ya.